before China opening the door, for 2 decades, we have consolidated our education, our Medicare systems, our industrial bases, our agricultural sector, and also we have created a more equal social structure in China. After the independence of China, for 2 decades, we have placed the foundation for economic soaring. So it's not because of the opening of the door of China that China's economy is booming. It's because we have very solid foundation. Because almost at the same time, India also opened its door. But we did not see any economic booming in India. Only after recent years we see that India's economy is starting to soaring. So that is another misunderstanding about China. It seems like if you have an opening policy, if you have special economic zones, your economy will grow naturally. But that's not true. Your economy will not grow naturally. You have to solve the problems like a more equal social structure, a very strong agricultural sector, a very strong industrial basis, and a very strong education basis. But right now, what we see in Nepal is you had a very strong education basis, you had a very strong medical systems, but you have a very weak agriculture sector. It's become even weaker because I was told that Nepal used to be an agricultural products exporting country. Now you're importing huge amount of agricultural products from India. I want to share with you a few statistics. I just read a few days from Kathmandu Post. You know, every Nepalese politicians, leaders, business people, ordinary people, when I met them, they're talking about, we want to export more electricity to India, to China. Then we will have an independent economy. What is the reality? I want to share with you, Nepalese friends. Last fiscal year, you exported 10 billion rupee electricity to India. How much you imported from India, my Nepalese friends? You imported 19 billion Nepalese rupees of electricity from India. You had a deficit in electricity trade, one of the products you are proud of, and you think that will bring you economic independence. And the first months of this year, fiscal year, do you know how many cereals you imported from India? In 1 month, not in 1 year. You imported 7 billion Nepalese rupees of cereals from India. So multiply by 12. So each year you will import 10 billion, not 10 billion, 100 billion Nepalese rupees of agricultural products from India. So I will say that Nepalese government, I was suggesting that put a priority on agricultural sector. That is very important. Also, you don't have an very strong industrial basis. Your manufacturing sector has been shrinking from 14% of GDP now to below 10%. Now we can see that every industrial products you're importing from India, China, from around the world. You're not producing anything. So one of the issues when I met with Nepalese politicians, leaders, and friends, they're saying that we have a huge deficit in the trade with China. We say that we welcome Nepal to exporting products to China. But the problem is that you're not producing not any agricultural products, not any industrial products. So what I'm doing here is I'm working with the Nepalese government, with the Right Honorable Speaker, to improve the capacity of Nepal to produce quality agricultural products and quality industrial products. So 2 months ago, we successfully exported the first batch of haylage to China. It has a potential, that single agricultural products has a potential to exporting 30 million US dollars per year to China. So that is the only single products. So there are huge, huge potentials, my Nepalese friends. Your agricultural sector has huge potentials that need to be unleashed. So one of the important lessons I draw from Dr. Karyan Raka is that you have to make the right policies at the right time. So when China was established, New China was established in 1949, we have very limited resources. So at those times, the main job for the government is distributing those very limited resources evenly among Chinese people, so that every Chinese people can enjoy equitable opportunities. Every Chinese people can unleash their potentials. So after 2 decades, we have a very solid foundation. And then we embrace the globalization age. So we open up with that very solid foundations, so China's economy can enjoy 30 years of average more than 10% of growth. So that is the right time to take the right policies. India is also taking that policies, but it's not at the right time. So when India opens its doors, it does not bring economic growth to India. So right now, what is the future of China? What is the policy right now for China? Now we enter into a new era of economic development, which is upgrading our industries. We want to lift China out of the middle income trap, which means China has to embrace the world more, not close the door. Even though the US want to disengage with China, but we want to embrace the world more, including Nepal. So that's why our president proposed the BRI initiatives. It's not a geopolitical tool, as Dr. Karyan rightly put it. It's a gift for the developing countries. Countries embracing BRI more fast, more effectively, they enjoy more faster economic growth. That's what's happening in Africa, in Southeast Asia. To some extent, it's happening in South Asia.
सभामुख महोदय, नेपाल सार्वभौम सत्ता सम्पन्न स्वतन्त्र राष्ट्र हो भनेरै संविधानमा लेखिएको छ। यदि हो भने कुनै पनि विदेशी मुलुकको एउटा राजदूतले नेपालको परराष्ट्र नीति निर्धारण गर्ने होइन, नेपालले कोसँग कस्तो सम्बन्ध राख्ने हो नेपाल आफै निर्धारण गर्ने हो। तर एउटा देशको राजदूतले जुन तरिकाले खुलेआम सार्वजनिक रूपमा सनातनदेखि हजारौं वर्षदेखि कायम रहेको नेपाल भारत सम्बन्धको विषयमा विषगमन गर्ने, वैमनस्यता लगाउने काम गर्न खोजेको छ, त्यो घोर निन्दनीय छ। यदि नेपाल स्वतन्त्र राष्ट्र हो भने उक्त राजदूतलाई तुरन्त परराष्ट्र मन्त्रालयले स्पष्टीकरण लिनुपर्छ र तत्काल नेपालबाट फिर्ता पठाउनुपर्छ भन्नेमा जोरदार रूपमा माग गर्दछु। जहाँसम्म व्यापार घाटाको कुरा छ, गत वर्ष चीनबाट US डलर 5.39 मिलियनको निर्यात भएको छ भने US डलर 1.84 बिलियनको आयात भएको छ। अर्थात् चीनबाट हाम्रो आयातको तुलनामा हाम्रो निर्यात 1% पनि छैन, 0.3% मात्र छ। यो तथ्य नबिर्सन पनि आग्रह गर्दछु। बरु नेपाल भारत सम्बन्धमा सनातनदेखिको सम्बन्ध हो, देश र राज्यको अवधारणा भन्दा पनि पूर्वकालको यो सम्बन्ध बहुआयामिक हो। यो सम्बन्धमा धार्मिक, सामाजिक, वैवाहिक, सांस्कृतिक, धार्मिक, आर्थिक स्तरमा जन स्तरसम्मै रहेको छ। नेपालका हरेक डाँडा काँडाबाट लगभग हरेक घर परिवारबाट 10औं लाख मान्छेहरू भारतका शहरहरूमा काम गरेर आफ्नो परिवार पाल्दै आएका छन्। सभामुख महोदय, जन्मदेखि मृत्युसम्मको सम्बन्ध त्यहाँ कायम छ। नेपालको चीनसँगको सम्बन्ध मात्र 1955 मा मात्र स्थापित भएको हो। यहाँ त इगौँदेखि राजाहरू समेत अन्तिम समयमा त्यही बनारस पुगेर देह त्याग गर्ने र आज पनि हरेक घर परिवारबाट अस्तु गङ्गा विसर्जन नगरी हुँदैन, तसर्थ नेपालको मित्र राष्ट्रको सम्बन्धमा खलल पार्ने उद्देश्यले दिएको अराजक गैर कूटनैतिक र हेपाईपूर्ण अभिव्यक्तिको लागि नेपाल सरकारले स्पष्टीकरण सोध्नै पर्छ। यस विषयमा परराष्ट्र मन्त्रालयको ध्यान आकर्षण गराउन चाहन्छु। धन्यवाद।